Hey, so I might forget to say this, but my musical suggestions for this video are Big L. You should listen to his song, How Will I Make It? And also all of Tupac. I was listening to fuck all y'all. So, it be getting hot in my pod. So I'm high though right now. I just smoke weed. I'm just not feeling the best, bro. I feel like I gotta say, everybody that I've known in the past, basically. Except, like, people who never judged me, type shit. Everybody that I've known in the past, it doesn't even matter. I'm getting to a point where it's just like, everybody's kind of a bad person at the end of the day. They ain't straight. Something's wrong. So it's like, I'm at this point where it's like, I gotta step out of my comfort zone. And I gotta, like, meet new people. And one of my old late friends, Frank, he asked me, like, when he was still alive, over the phone, he was like, he asked me, how do you make new friends? And I was like, I don't really fucking know. To me, when I did, you know, whether it was outside or in school, it just came naturally. Like, I just started a conversation with somebody. But these days, I'm struggling because it's like, I've become so selective. I look bad in this lighting. Like, what the fuck? I just look so. I'm just so selective. It's like, it's hard to come across somebody who's a strong enough character and does the right thing when it comes down to it. That's what I want. That's hard to find. But it's good, I think, if you're this type of person like me, it's good to stick to people that also smoke weed. Type shit. It's just like the sun's killing me. Like, I had to drive somewhere to take a shower, and my fucking check engine was on, and this shit kept beeping like the same noise. I'm gonna sound stupid. I'm gonna sound stupid. But like that beeping that when your seatbelt is off or some shit. So I was like, is it a big deal? Is it a big deal? Because it would blink when it beeped, so I knew that it was the check engine and nothing else is wrong. But you know, after I got home, I call this home because it feels like it. I hit the holiday because I had to use the restroom. And once I got back, like, I know the engine was just overheating. I turned the car on, and the check engine light isn't even there. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, I got that driver's tan where my left arm is more tan than my right. So it was funny looking. I tried to even it out yesterday. No, but one shoulder is darker and shit. I don't know, today my heart just feels broken. Like, my heart physically, it feels sad. Like, it feels broken. So I don't even know what's up. I've been trying to cheer myself up, but something in me is just like, my heart is broken because I feel like everybody ended up being phony. I mean, most people were already phony. Some people even made up for it. It depends on the person, but not many. I don't even know where to sit, so the sun's not fucking hitting me. Yeah, I just feel very sad. You know, to me, something that always was heavy on my conscience Like, like, I was just when my grandfather's mother died, and she was dying, and I visited her honestly often actually, but it was one time she told me, she basically told me that death is a big deal. You don't ever really think about it in the moments where it matters in your life even, but it's something it's something to be scared of. Like, it's something you got to think about. So it was always on my mind, like that. But I've always just, it's come back up in my head, and I've really contemplated it. And it's like, since I was a kid, it's really like impacted my decision making in life. Why I try to make better decisions. And sometimes that takes learning and remembering, but that's what I try to be on. And so, um, so I've always taken into consideration like that idea and that fear of like, we don't have a fucking clue how this world works or why we're here or anything. We don't have a clue what death means or what it's gonna be like to experience it. The death that we know that we're gonna experience, which is gonna be probably a heavy out of body experience where you become more conscious. So it's kind of like, I feel like it could be, I feel like smoking weed is kind of a similar feeling to the idea I get that death would feel like, in a way, where you're thinking more outside of your body and outside of like the egotistical ways you could be thinking more. So, but it's kind of like, you know, like I don't understand where a lot of people come from. They make choices, like conscious choices to just do things that, like, I don't know, when you die, like, you got to be scared of something bigger. So that's where I'm coming from. Like, I'm like, but that's the thing. It's like, it gets deeper. It's like, but I can't be scared. What I would be scared of is being somebody that I'm not, and letting the world do that to me. So it just paved my direction. Like, like, even the world might hurt you, but like, I feel like death is bigger than anything that could happen here anyway. You feel me? So like, I just always keep it in my mind, like, what is the afterlife gonna think of me? And like the decisions I've made. Cause some people, it's some shit that you can't come back from. And it in a way where it's like, some people, they do things that would be like heavy, like, especially, I'm sure people get away with shit all the time, and they never get consequences in this life. So I'm hyper scared for people, like, to me, just considering everything that I know and can think about, like, it probably is something in the afterlife that is about like just your conscious, and what's in your conscious. What is there? You know what I mean? So you gotta stay straight in this world. That's my point. Like, some people just, they don't think like this clearly, and that's where they go wrong, bro. Because they're not being conscious about things. And some people just, they do too much. Like, I think it's you gotta just be in a place, though, what I was getting to, like, and about myself, like, you just gotta get to a place where you're as tight with your inner self as you would want to be with anything that you could respect that's more powerful than you. And I would say something like death is more powerful than me. Something like death, you know, and it's unpredictable, but like the guesses we can make, like, it's, I don't even fucking know. I'm stoned. It's getting hot in here. Cheers. I lost track of what I was talking about. Because I had like so many different directions I wanted to take it, but I wanted to remember everything. This is terrible. Yeah, it's like, the impression I got from my great grandma though was like, don't do anything that you would be scared of being, like, putting it my own way, like being confronted though. Being confronted by something like that. Like, what if when you die, like, you get confronted, basically? So I was a troubled child, you know, I was like 8, and I would do things, but when it comes to like having to do things to survive as a kid, you can start to do like immoral things in order to survive. Like, what's the best decision in your head in order to get to certain goals in terms of survival, or making things as good as they can be long term. Like, I don't know, sometimes like logical thinking doesn't always match up with like what's best, especially when it's a kid trying to figure things out. So like, I would steal a lot, basically, but things, you know, come on my mind, and it's like, what the fuck do I mean? Like like people like that kind of left that kind of stuff in my head. Like, my other great grandma did a lot too, so they kept me and put me on the right directions in life. You know, it's clear that a lot of people did not get that, and a lot of people don't have the independence, so they're living in fear. A lot of people don't have the independence to make their own decisions without it having any like thing to do with basing it off of anybody else or the general public opinion on things, or how you should handle something. And that's dangerous, because when people do that, you know, it can't always be right. So like, things like that have happened to people who participated in like slavery and the Nazi movement and people in North Korea. That's the type of mentality a lot of people still have, stuff like that. Like, they think in ways that like cause those problems, and like people in America do. So nobody's really changed. It really just depends on where you're born, I think. Like, a lot of people in America, they do all right for themselves and they hold a good reputation. And it's easy to get away with things in America if you like utilize the laws in order to do so, and you're just careful. So it's kind of scary in terms of that. God, I forgot whatever. I've been feeling like there's a point that I should get to that's like super far away though. I'm thinking about Slipknot now, and it just makes me think, like, you can listen to No Life by Slipknot. That's the song I'm thinking about. But yeah, that shit, I mean, bro, it kind of sucks everywhere, cause if you're not a type of person that isn't the best type of person, in order to like get your way in life, I think the trend in America is like keeping your mouth shut about something and just holding things down and like suppressing things within yourself. I think that's what most people do. But I forgot what I was saying. Oh, I forgot what I was saying. God damn. There's a point I gotta get to though. But I don't. Damn, I'm stuck on what the fuck I was just about to bring up. I don't know. Most people are messed up in America, and the problem is socially. People will all like group against somebody, or just everybody talks behind each other's backs. So it's like everybody's constantly on eggshells, and they don't even like. I think we're all kind of blocking things out, or like don't want to think hard enough to really take in some realities that are obvious if you consider stuff like that. So everybody learned to like keep things inside and just not talk about it. And that's not how we go about, fixing it. You gotta just be honest. Because some people, they're not as good in different ways within themselves as they are in other ways. Like, everybody's got stats, right? Like, so I feel like a good point in somebody having the freedom and feeling comfortable to just express anything and any, like, thoughts in their head. So somebody, I think socially should approach a person better than we usually do in America. And you can see it online, like, type shit. People just attack people and make them feel horrible, and they just don't want them to exist. Instead of somebody, like, taking the human responsibility socially, if you want to be involved at all or have anything to say yourself, like, type shit. You should, like, if you're gonna try to deal with that, like, all that should be done, I feel like, at least initially, and go from here as, like, trying to fix it in, like, an emotionally intelligent way, basically. Like trying to, like, conversate and reason with the person. I feel like most people don't get that privilege to have like, people around them when they were growing up, to treat them like that as a kid. And I feel like that's where things like this stem from. And it impacts all of our communication skills as adults, but that's kind of the trend in America too. Kids are pretty much just told to, like, bottle things up a lot of times, or just keep it to themselves. And if there's conflict, which there probably is in most situations where a kid is, a kid probably isn't going to be able to have a word about it. They just have to deal with that kind of life. But it affects people, like, long term socially. So, yeah. So even if somebody's just, like, talking about problems, people will get really upset, and people will all want to attack you. But yeah, whether you're a problem or you want to, like, deal with problems in the right way, people they get upset because they don't want to have their own conscious deal with things. They're too scared, I think. But, I don't know. I'm not even gonna get into that shit. But yeah, you know what I see though? Nobody is really super honest and outgoing. People have, like, mega filters on, and then it even boils down to, like, family and stuff a lot of times for some people. People just keep, like, negative thoughts to themselves, and it's just kind of a mess the way that I see it. Basically, everybody's fake. So from a Tupac perspective, like, this world lets people fall so easily in America, and a lot of the families are toxic. Everybody just is not really that safe, and it's hard to get on your own 2 feet when you haven't been raised correctly. I'll just say that much. Whoa. Yeah, I don't even know. So I'm just sad, but I feel better after talking about it. My heart felt heavy. Everybody is kind of just socially on some bullshit because we have, like, new priorities in humanity, and that boils down to materialism. And what I've seen is just basically materialism. It deeply impacted our ways of feeling and thinking and acting with each other, basically, all together. People, there's just like, I just feel like I'm being lost. What the fuck? Yeah, but bro, like, I don't know. People just, they put some kind of distance between themselves and everybody else they know. And you can't really do shit about that when it just goes unsaid in a way, and there's no, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, people still, basically, they rely on, like, a group mentality thing in order to help them make their own decisions and ways of thinking about things. People do that too much in an unhealthy way, and they do it to, like, more distance themselves from other people, I think. And everybody's been scared of me when they try to get close to me. People, what I notice, people, they pull some fuck shit usually. But people just, I think, maybe subconsciously, people, what the fuck was I gonna say? People get scared of getting too close to themselves. And, you know, for a lot of reasons, though, when it comes to people with me, people have self-sabotage. And then there's just, like, a lot of instances, too, though, besides that, where it's, like, somebody just wants to be around me, and I'm like, alright, and then they project whatever issues they have on, like, just me not really giving a fuck, or being, like, reasonably affected by whatever shit they're on. I don't know. So what do you do? Because then, you know, I don't know, like, I feel like everybody that I've known, that's, like, what I'm talking about, like, everybody that I've known, I feel like what they do instead is they fucking choose to be social with other people that don't show as, like, that also only just show the character and navigate things based off of that, like, thoughtful social interaction that's, like, somehow a mask. And I don't know. I don't fucking know. But then it's, like, not real. So what the fuck? I'm trying to think of a way to put it if you ask me, like, what the fuck do I mean by this? Like, what do I mean by opening up closer than just, like, hanging out and being a personality? Like, I mean, for one, like, everybody is wounded in some way. You have to be. Even if you had, like, a pretty good life, you got really lucky in America, like, there's just stuff around you that's still gonna break your heart. So it's weird to me that nobody wants to talk, nobody wants to be emotional around each other until, like, usually what it comes down to is, like, people taking on, like, childhood issues, from my experience. So I guess we're all different, so people treat us differently. But yeah, people, and I've always been a vulnerable person. People just end up tripping on me because I just am what I am, and people will want to see what they see in order to, like, can anybody relate? People will just make things something, and you're like, it doesn't really have to be like that. But then people want to act weird. It's like, dude. I miss being kids. Didn't nothing matter. Everything was more like, you know, if you don't know better, you can still learn. But people don't give adults the same respect, basically, now. They don't. And some people need social help with people close to them in order to fix themselves in a social way or, like, emotionally. I'm just rambling, dude. What the fuck? I'm trying to think of what the fuck I was on about. Damn. Some people got it more figured out in life, though. I would say Dan and Phil are good role models. Truly. They have enough figured out. You know, this is rare in the people that I meet in America. It's rare that somebody has a long-term relationship where they're really close and open with each other. And it works. And it's not abusive. If we're being honest with ourselves, like, it's pretty bad. You know, how many people even end up getting divorced? Like, you would think marriage would be a big deal, but people aren't as close as they want to act like they are. Divorce is every single time. Bottom line, when you boil it down, it comes to people not being as close as they presumed they were in order to get married. So our perception of marriage is super off, bro. Or like understanding like what it takes for that to work, because we don't actually, people aren't clearly not marrying people that are fully honest with themselves, therefore feeling okay to be fully honest. Because if you're doing something that makes you not want to be honest, it means you got confused somewhere along the lines, you messed up, and or, what the fuck was I gonna say? It's slipping away. Fuck. I don't even remember what I was saying, but I remember I was talking about marriage, so. Yeah, you gotta marry somebody that, like for me, this is why I'm fucking tripping out here. Like, I'm like, my standards are too high to ever find somebody, but it either happens or it doesn't. There's nothing else. But it's like, if you marry somebody, it's gotta be somebody who's so fully honest with themselves that they're completely open with the world. You know, but yeah, what I was gonna say, like, otherwise, basically, if you're not honest with yourself in a way, like you did something that you really deep down you can't feel right about, like it wasn't good, maybe there's some type of negative impact or harm done because of it. But I mean, a lot of times it's a mistake. Being honest with yourself just means that you can say like, I'm not guilty because it was a mistake, so I can't feel that bad. And just living life, like only choosing when you make choices and are in control of things when you can be, to only do good, right? So that's about as honest with yourself as you can get. So that has to come out in character. So you gotta be like that. But for me, it's hard to find somebody else that's like that. You know? Like the fuck. Like the reason I was in my old videos, I'll be talking about somebody that I wanted to marry. It's because she was like deeply flawed, but I feel like everybody is. But the thing about her was like, yeah, like I felt like she would just say what things are. Even if she was fucking shit up, like, I don't feel like she would try to hide it. And I feel like there was always some want to change and be better. So that's the type of person you should go for. But there's other things that you gotta consider. You gotta consider every factor about a person. But that was a good person. For the most part. Because here's the thing, she probably did more damage than most people end up doing. She did immoral things. But it was like when she did that, it was because she could not help it. That's really what I could tell. Like, it gets to a point where it's like, I know that you, like, it's basically like clearly she wants to, like, be the best person she can be and do right. She was a little out of control of her emotions and, like, the effects trauma has and stuff. So what the fuck? I was never, like, super mad at her for tripping because of stuff like that. But basically, she's still mad at me because I would do too much. I would say too much, and it would negatively impact, like, her own way of dealing with this stuff. Because I would try to intervene and like try to, like, bring up things to her that she didn't want to hear at that time. She didn't want that perspective. It was hurtful more than it was gonna help her. But it wasn't even about to, like, get to that point a lot of times, because it was just like I always communicated to her in, like, a way that she found disrespectful because of mostly the way that my dad was, you know. But that's what I mean, like, way back to some shit I was saying earlier, like, the way that we're communicated to and with when we're children, that's how you're gonna, like, communicate initially with people in your life until you figure out how to get a hold of that and change it, like, consciously, basically. But it, like, is patterns that come from that. And, like, my old stepmom, my brother's mom, in a way she's my mom though, but she's not that old, you feel me? But neither is my birth mom for being my mom, you feel me? But, like, she's even younger, so shout out. But I forgot what I was gonna say. About it. It pertained to what I was talking about. I don't remember what I was talking about. What the fuck? Oh yeah, she would call me out. She would be like, "You're talking like your dad right now. I don't even like that." And I would feel bad, like, oh no, I don't even know exactly what you're talking about, but he has flaws that he passed down to me. So he can be kind of an asshole sometimes. He can be hurtful. And, like, it's difficult for a kid like me, because I don't always see the way that things are being communicated the same as other people, and I would end up saying phrases in, like, a rude way when I didn't even mean it, and people would be like, you're rude, you don't have a filter. I'm like, I feel like I wasn't understanding the exact correct context to use, like, phrases and stuff that I've heard from other people, so it would just come off wrong or something. But whatever, I don't even know. I feel like I still haven't gotten to a point, but I want to smoke. My point making this video in my subconscious was basically, life sucks, and most people suck. And then you find you find a person or people who don't suck, that have beautiful flaws that actually work. So you can say they're good flaws, because everybody's gonna have flaws, you know. But a person like the example I used, some shit always gets fucked up where you end up without them anyway, or some shit. Because she wasn't at that point. We weren't at that point where either of us were very healed. We were still going through bullshit. So yeah, a lot of times in those phases in your life, those people can't stay around. I don't know why they can't come back if they can't, but, you know, Because that shit is still unhealed on some level, basically. It has to be. But, like, what the fuck? We watched Finding Nemo together. Like, how are you gonna be mad at me for that long? Because we known each other. This is bullshit. So it's like, that's still in the air though, spiritually, like, type shit. Like, I don't know what could happen. I don't even know what I'm thinking about, dude. It was a good example for some reason. Yeah, that's the example. If you find someone like that, I hope to God, and it's in a time in your life where somehow you have every solution to give and every way to fix any problem. That's all I gotta say. Cause you I don't know even how I was gonna put this, but it's like, dude, like, you either gotta hold it down or you're gonna end up like me. You gotta get some weed. You might like I forgot whatever like advice I was gonna give. You know what? I'm not the person that should give that advice because I'm not in a position where I have any good close relationship like that right now. So I'm fucked up. But what I can say from my position is, let's say you fucked up or you don't know any good type of person that can be that solid to you, because that's where your standards should be for close friends and relationships, at least, because family is kind of a different thing. But basically, you gotta get some weed if you're not at that point right now where you know anybody like that. That's what I'm doing though. I got some weed. That's the only other solution. That's gonna be your friend when you don't have any friend. You feel me? It is. Otherwise, one of my grandmas is cool. So I got my grandma. She got my back for some reason. Cause I'm gonna have her back. But that's a different video I want to bring up. I wanted to make a video talking about something like, then I didn't. But it's basically like, I wanted to lay out this concept of like, basically, we need to. Ooh, I don't like that. We need to take better care of our life cycles and how they repeat in our families. So what I mean is that obviously we gotta take better care of our kids, but we gotta learn to take better care of the elderly. They're thrown in elderly homes, and I've been posting about this for a long time. It's like, they get abused in those fuck ass homes. They do. They get abused, and sometimes it gets caught. And that's where you can see news stories about it getting caught sometimes, because we all know, especially criminals or past criminals, that ratio, you know what I mean? That ratio is always going to be there. There'll be more people that haven't been caught every time. Almost every time, unless it's like a rare experience. Like, this usually isn't done.